Welcome back to the Swang Low Podcast Show. It is yours truly, Do Rock Creek. What's happening with all my people out there in the free world today? Check it out, man. I appreciate you all stepping back for this round table. You know what I'm saying? As I bring to y'all another story, you know what I'm saying, about an experience that I had in a particular time. Now, look, I want to say this. I don't typically try to glorify anybody that I feel dropped out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking, when I say drop out, I'm talking about in prison when you choose to go protective custody or to go EOP 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Any of that, right? I don't typically glorify people. Once you go that route, you go that route and you're done. And before I start this, please forgive my background. It's going to be kind of noisy, but we're going to fight through it. And the message is the message. We're going to get it out to the people. But anyway, like I was saying, I don't typically glorify anybody that chooses to go that route, because once you make your mind up that you're done with the game and you're done with this lifestyle and you choose to go on that side of the fence, that side of the fence typically is police, rats, child molesters, and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that they keep away from the main lines in prison. Okay. But I've talked about other people, you know what I'm saying, in different stories that may have went that route. But when I talk about these people, I'm telling you about a moment in time before they chose to make that career move to drop out the game. So I'm telling you stories about people as they was before they chose to go that way. Okay. And this one is no exception. And I've thought about it. I've fought myself, you know what I'm saying, over and over again, wanting to speak out about this man. However, you know what? It's a moment in time. I'm not talking about the man of today. I don't know that man of today. I know the man that was with me in Salinas Valley State Prison back in he got there in 1997, I believe. You know what I'm saying? He had came from New Folsom Prison, a situation that occurred up there with him. You know what I'm saying? And some bloods in regards to his case, what he was in prison for. Now, the person that I'm talking about is the rapper X-Rated from Sacramento, California, right? Now, anybody that's been around that know the history about me know that I had an affiliation with this rapper X-Rated, okay? And how my affiliation. Let me give you a small backstory about me even knowing who this person was. Before I got locked up and ended up running into him, I had just got out of jail. And one of my homeboys pulled me to the side like, hey, man, look, I want to put you up on all the latest music, everything that you've been missing out on, you know what I'm saying, while you was locked up in prison. So I'm like, all right, so we go to a spot and he playing a number of things for me. One of the things happened to be X-Rated's. At that time, we had tapes. Wasn't no CDs and none of that stuff back then. You got to remember, this was 1994. Okay, so bam, bro, get the tape. He throw X-Rated tape in. We sitting there listening to it. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, cool. My very first time hearing X-Rated music. I go to jail and I'm reading through Source magazines because that's all I used to be into. Source magazines, Murder Dog, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff, right? And I run across a article on X-Rated in regards to his case. You know what I'm saying? So I was made a little bit more aware of who he was. Fast forward to Salinas Valley State Prison, 1997. Right now, when he get there, people talking about it, specifically the Sacramento Bloods. You know what I'm saying? And I remember this one dude, his name was SS. I'll never forget these dudes. SS was from I believe SS was from he had to be from Meadowview, right? Because I remember one day we sitting in the kitchen and he started talking about it like, yeah, man, this bitch ass nigga just pulled up here. You know what I'm saying? He ain't finna last here long and this and that and blah, 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 right? So I'm like, who? We like this dude X-Rated. Now, I didn't know at that time that X-Rated was a Crip. Didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Didn't. you know, like I said, the homie had played me his music and all this and that. I read an article on him, but I didn't know that he had Crip affiliations, right? So anyway, when this dude SS is talking about him, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, just some Sacramento type shit, right? So bam, come to find out he's a Crip. So bam, I remember one day I'm out on the yard. We was on the C yard. This was Salinas Valley State Prison, 1997, the C yard, right? It was cracking. It was up. So anyway, I'm on the basketball court one day. You know what I'm saying? And I remember specifically the dude A Love from Fresno 6 Deuce Diamond, Dot Dog from Northside Gangster Crip Stockton, and X Rated walk over to the basketball court. And I remember X Rated, they like this creep right here. And I remember X Rated like, oh, he like, oh, you the one that I've been hearing about. He like, man, hey, he like, everybody been telling me you the hardest rapper on the yard. So I'm like, is that right? He like, yeah. You know who I am? Right? Introduce himself. We get formally acquainted. Bam. So he go into like, you know, I want to rap. What's happening? You know what I'm saying? Like usually when I hit a new prison, a new yard or anything, you know what I'm saying? And people telling me who the hardest rapper is, I usually want to rap against them. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what they got. So I'm like, all right, he like, shit, you like, we go over here. He like, I got the beats and all that. I'm like, oh, okay. So we go to this on the yard. It was like this 5 foot wall that was all concrete, and on top of it, it had a metal plate on top of it, right? It was over by the bathroom, you know what I'm saying, where people go use the bathroom at on the yard, right? But if you beat on top of that metal plate, it's a loud boom with bass and all that, right? So just imagine somebody start beating on it during the beat. It sound like a real beat, right? Like a real drum line. So bam, this fool pick up a rock and he had a pen. A pen. He pick a rock up off the ground, had the pen, and he get to doing the beat. Right? I'm like, everybody like, ooh, that beat hard, that beat hard. So he start off rapping. I'm sitting there tripping because I'm put on the spot with somebody that's you know already established in the industry. Just so happened, you know what I'm saying, he in prison now, and everybody knew who he was at this time. It was a trip, bro, because when he started doing that beat, look, the yard consists of 4 buildings on each side. It's 2 sides. Both sides got 4 buildings on each side. Each building hold 200 people in it. Okay, so if you got, and at this time they was letting out all the buildings for the yard. You know what I'm saying? Like they do the lower tier, all in every building, the whole lower tier come out in each building, and then the second half, the upper tier in each building to come out. You know what I'm saying? So bam, we got all these people, the whole entire yard come surround us. I bullshit you not. Mexicans, white boys, Bloods, Crips, the police, everybody. It's hundreds of people around that surrounded us that quick. They want to come hear us rap. So bam, this fool start rapping. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? He got the whole crowd. He got the whole crowd, bro. Even me, I'm sitting there just amazed like this. I got this one, heard this fool rap. You know what I'm saying? I done seen this fool in the magazine and this and that. Like my mind is going a million miles an hour. And at the same time, I'm trying to figure out which rap I'm gonna bust after him. Right? So now at this time, I used to do a lot of writing from my time in the Crip module. You know what I'm saying? In there rapping with the homie Blue Rag and other dudes from other hoods that was in there. So I was kind of prepared for the moment, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, still kind of nervous a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. And then I ain't never had the whole entire yard come listen to me rap. So anyway, at this time though, I had a lot of raps. A lot. I used to write a lot. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, when he done with this verse, what I'm gonna come with. Right? So in the midst of me being amazed at listening to this fool rap, I'm trying to figure out all this. I'm looking around. Everybody's like on this fool, right? So I'm like, damn, okay. Bam. Then my turn come. I rap. You know what I'm saying? While I'm rapping, I see everybody like, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking around the crowd while I'm rapping, everybody vibing with me. I'm like, okay, yeah, right. So even including him while he doing the beat. You know what I'm saying? So bam, we go back and forth, bro. I swear to God, for about an hour and a half straight, non-stop. Every rap that he said, I matched. Every rap that I said, he matched. Right? So at the end of it all, he was so impressed by that because he told me, he was like, bro, he said, look, he said, I've been rapped against a lot of people before. You know what I'm saying? And usually after about 5, 6 raps, it'll be it. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? I won. They done, dudes don't be having that many raps like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes try to freestyle their way up out of it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't come up against a real lyricist trying to freestyle some shit. You know what I'm saying? The freestyle part is cool and all that, but you know what I'm saying? Like your written got to be on point, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got to have lyrics ready to go at any given time. Because you got rappers that's just gonna come after you because they know you know how to rap, right? So, and back then, them was rap circles. You know what I'm saying? In today's world, they call it ciphers, right? So if you go look up what a cipher is on the internet, you're gonna see people like Eminem and Yellow Wolf and Joe Budden and all these people, you know what I'm saying, spitting back to back freestyles and after each other, right? So this is how a prison is a circle though. Everybody is around that circle. If you know how to rap, you're gonna be in the front waiting for your turn to come up, right? But in this case, it was just me and X-Rated, with nobody else. Everybody else like, no. So me and this fool go back to back, right? So afterwards, he like, man, I ain't never ran across nobody that had that many raps like that. He said, and you hard. He said, you trying to make some money in this shit? I'm like, yeah. But I'm not knowing no business about no music or none of that. All I did was just write raps and, because I like to do it. I didn't know the business side and I didn't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So when he asked me, was I trying to make some money? Of course I'm trying to make some money. If I can, how? So he tell me, he like, I got a little cousin that go by the name of Lunatic, right? He looking for somebody to write for him. He said, the stuff that you got is hard. He said, but look, I'm gonna keep it real. He said, I can hook you up with my little cousin Lunatic, you know what I'm saying? And y'all can work out what y'all work out, or you could come mess with me. He like, I'm gonna keep it real. I would prefer you come mess with me. Let's do some music together. You know what I'm saying? He like, look, this is what we gonna do. He said, come out to the yard tomorrow morning. I'm gonna go find some weed. I'm gonna find some drink. Me and you gonna kick back. We gonna holler about everything. I'm like, all right. So bam, that next day, that's exactly what we do. We go in front of 3 Block. I'll never forget it. Oh, he had told me to bring out a pen and pad, you know what I'm saying, and all that for the next day. So I'm like, all right. So that next day, we go in front of 3 Block, Sea Yard, the Salinas Valley State Prisons, 1997, right? We sit down in front of the building. Don't nobody come over there messing with us. So we just going over a number of different things. He actually wanted to start a group. You know what I'm saying? So we sitting there trying to start a group name and all this and that. He asking me who else that knew how to rap on the yard. Just so happened, the hardest person to me that was there at that time was the homie Papa from Main Street, 98 Main Street, right? Papa was in the Crip module with me. You know what I'm saying? So I knew this fool was a spitter. So I'm telling him about Papa. He like, all right, introduce him to me. You know what I'm saying? After we finish doing this. So bam. Now we trying to figure out a name for the group. If we can get Poppy in, then we got a legit group. So we going over a number of different things of what we can call this group, right? So bam, I had remembered like from years before when I was rapping with the homie Diablo now from 1200 Block, you know what I'm saying, and the homie Stutter Loke and from Seven Trees, San Jose, and you know what I'm saying, the homie Kiki from Rolling 20s, the homie Bogart from Schoolyard, you know what I'm saying. I'm rapping with all these dudes every day, and we hanging with each other, so we end up naming a little group that we called ourselves called DOA, Dead on Arrival, right? And that's just something that we like, just our hang around crew. You know what I'm saying? So bam, fast forward when I'm with X-Rated, we trying to figure out a name. That's when I'm like, how about Dead on Arrival? So he like, oh yeah. He like, yeah, I like that. I like that. So bam, he like, we gonna write a song called Dead on Arrival. You know what I'm saying? So bam, I'm like, all right. He like, we gonna start that right now. He like, I like that. So bam, we write the song called Dead on Arrival. If you go listen to X-Rated's Unforgiven album, you'll hear that song on there. It's called Dead on Arrival, no chance for survival. I know everybody gotta die, but when it's my turn to go, I wanna go out with a bang. Fuck pain and suffering, shoot me in the brain, right? Came up with the hook and all that right there on the yard, sitting in front of 3 Block. We write our lyrics to it. Then we start another song called Cemetery Full of G's. I believe that song is on the Unforgiven album too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong though, because he start releasing like all those songs. I'm gonna get into that. So anyway, right? And again, excuse my background. It's gonna get a little noisy, you know what I'm saying? But again, we're gonna fight through this. So anyway, me and X-Rated end up becoming Cellys. You know what I'm saying? So in the midst of us being Cellys, man, we making all these plans. He want me to sign to Black Market Records. He even had me rap. You know what I'm saying? For I believe bro name was Cedric. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, right? This was the dude that ran Black Market Records. He had me rap for him over the phone. This dude going crazy. Oh, you sound like this person. You sound like that person. Hell yeah, I want you to do that. I want you. I want you. I want you, right? But at that time, X-Rated had already had plans in his head that he wanted to start his own thing. He just wanted to use that as a jumper. So basically, while we doing the Dead on Arrival album, he wanted to also start working on my solo project, right? So we working on all these different songs. So what he wanted to do was take a few of the songs to the head dude at Black Market Records and see what he would be offering to sign me, and then take it around to different other record labels and see who bid the highest. If you know what I'm saying. So that was the strategic plan that how he wanted to hit old boy. So anyway, got the contracts and all that. You know what I'm saying? Drew up. You know what I'm saying? And what ended up happening now, in the midst of all this going on, it was a lot that took place. Me and X-Rated was Celly's for about a year, a little over a year, right? It was a lot of different things. My homies, to keep it all the way real, didn't like him at all. You know what I'm saying? Didn't like X-Rated at all. You know what I mean? None of them did, especially my big homie LJ. LJ didn't like him because one day we on the yard chilling, and X-Rated jump out there and ask bro a personal political question that had nothing to do with anything. You know what I'm saying? So he asked him a question me or none of my other homies from my hood had ever asked the homie LJ, right? It was just something that you didn't do, but he did it. And he did it in front of everybody. And the homie LJ went berserk on this dude. No bush, marked him out in front of all of us, right? I'm like, damn. So from that day on, every time LJ seen him, LJ come to our cell and he'd get on X-Rated. You little black ass nigga, whoa, whoa, right? Get on him. Why you always messing with me like that, LJ? Why you? And I had to talk to the homie like, come on, bro. Don't come to our cell with that every day, bro, because I'm in here with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want me to put hands on him and whoop on this dude, you know what I'm saying, to prevent you coming over here like that every day, I will. Just let me know. He's like, no, 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 I don't want you to mess up what you got going. Okay, then stop coming over here like that, right? Then LJ was crazy, bro. He was on X-Rated helmet. None of my homies liked him, but they understood that it was a business move going on that me and him had popping. So you know what I'm saying? So anyway, bam. Before I'm able to sign any of those contracts and make everything legit, this one particular incident took place that kind of messed up everything, man. One day, for whatever reason, this dude, you know what I'm saying, had an issue with me. You know what I mean? And this happened a lot when X-Rated was around. This dude drew all kind of weirdos, that was fans. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm looking at this situation. So anyway, me and this dude get into it. You know what I'm saying? To make a long story short. And I remember that day, X-Rated and the homie Bingo from Seaside Crip. We in the day room, right? And they're trying to talk me out of fighting this dude. And it almost worked. It almost worked. But while we sitting down there talking about it, this dude is standing up there with his cell door wide open, and he's standing there just looking like nigga, what's happening? What you want? So he came out his cell, grabbed a broom, took it in his cell, a broom, a sweeping broom. Then he came back out and filled this big old pitcher up full of scalding hot water, took that in his cell as a sign like, nigga, I'm finna use all that on you. You know what I'm saying? Come up in here. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting there. I ain't gonna lie, man. Seeing that kind of pressured me up, and I was already on one. So I'm like, you know what? I ain't trying to hear nothing. I'm in there. So I start making my way up there. Dude see me coming. He like, oh yeah, come on, you motherfucker. Come on. Come on. I've been waiting on you. Come on, right? Older dude, right? Look, that was the hardest fight I ever had in my life. Point blank, period. I'm talking about, hey, blow for blow. Hey, man, brutal. Blood was all over the cell from me and him. Blood was everywhere, man. The police shot all inside the cell. They had to come in there and literally just grab us and break us apart from each other. That's how vicious that fight was. So anyway, that happened. They moved me to a different yard, right? X-Rated mad. He like, man, we ain't even legitimized the contracts. We ain't did this. We ain't did that. He like, look, I'll be over there in a week. Don't even trip, right? So I'm like, man, I'm feeling bad because I done this stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? And but it happened. So fuck it. Bam. Within a week, X-Rated was over there. You know what I'm saying? So bam, we supposed to hook up over there on the other yard. So what ended up happening with Dodge that, shout out to OG Shaka too. Shaka Loke from Garden Block. That's X-Rated big homie. You know what I'm saying? He was over there on the yard. He pretty much ran all the Sacramento Northern Crips. You know what I'm saying? He was a real reputable from their area. You know what I'm saying? A rider too at that. You know what I'm saying? So again, shout out to Shaka Loke. So bam, we get over there, all them over there. Me and X-Rated supposed to hook back up. Some stuff end up happening on the yard, man. And we about to put some work in, you know what I'm saying? So we make all these knives. I have all these knives in my cell. They just so happen to run up in there and catch me with all these knives. I go to the hole. So that messed off the business between me and X-Rated. Like that pretty much sealed the deal after that, you know what I'm saying? Because once I went to the hole, I'm fighting this case. You know what I'm saying? I'm back there for a long time. Then once I finally finish fighting that case, I go back to the C yard. You know what I'm saying? I don't go back to the yard where they had sent me an X-Rated to. I go back to the original C yard where I was at, where the fight had took place between me and old boy. So bam, now I have no contact with X-Rated. Like it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hearing all kind of different things, with him going on. You know what I mean? And then next thing I know, he ran into a whole ball of trouble. Now, see, what you got to remember is when he first got to that prison, the Sacramento Bloods was plotting on him. But they didn't mess with him. You know why? Because he was with me. He was up under my wing, which means my homies is, you know what I'm saying, automatically drawn into this. So I remember a particular situation took place with a dude named, he was from, I believe, Meadowview Pyro too, right? Named Yayo. You know what I mean? This dude, Yayo, he was a character because he would actually come and walk up to us, shake X-Rated hand, what's up, homie, whoa, 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 all the pleasantries and all this and that. He would leave us and go back over to the Bloods and tell them, yeah, I just checked that bitch ass nigga, whoop, they, whoa, 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 lying. Now, how we know he's going back saying these things is because it was a couple of Bloods that we knew. You know what I'm saying? That knew us. Shout out to Lil Dillinger from PDL. He was there. He was one of them. It was a couple of PDLs that was there on that yard that knew us. That we you know what I'm saying? Like I knew Dillinger from the street, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was the only PDL nigga in the set. You know what I'm saying? And he was my homeboy Johan, them brother. You know what I'm saying? So, that's how that came about. But you know what I'm saying? You got these dudes there that know us and they know like you're not gonna go over there and say nothing around these dudes like that, nigga, and nothing happened. That's not gonna happen. We know these dudes. They not going for that. So when we find out that the dude Yayo doing that, I'm like, man, so I'm X-rated, like, man, what you think I should do? You think I should go out there and take off on this nigga? I said, if you take off on him, we're gonna have to take off on all of them. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get this dude isolated, you know what I'm saying, and check him behind that. And that's what we did. You know what I'm saying? So really they didn't want no phone, just to keep it all the way real. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about the Sacramento down moves at that time on that yard, the C yard. Now, when he left the C yard and went over to the A yard in Salinas Valley State Prison, that's where it went bad for him. That's where his career just, you know what I'm saying? Because he went all over there and got took off on, started a big ass Crippin' blood ride. You know what I'm saying? And then, from there, hey, he chose to make his career move, man, where he went SMY, you know what I'm saying, to the PC side. You know what I mean? And everything else is documented on that man once he got over there, and now he's out of prison. You know what I mean? So I cannot speak as to who he is today. I can only give y'all the story on when I ran into him, when I met him. When me and him was Cellies, he was just another young Crip like me. You know what I'm saying? We did the everyday normal stuff inside the cell throughout that whole time me and him was Cellies. You know what I'm saying? We did a lot of strategizing. I learned a lot of game from him. I can't say that about the music business. And you know what I'm saying? You got to remember, he was releasing music from prison, bro. Something that was completely unheard of. Nobody really had done it like that at that time, not on the scale that he did. So me sitting around him, learning the blueprints on how to do that, I took that shit and ran with it. Once I was able to do what I was able to do, I took it and ran with it. I wasn't able to do it on the scale that he did it because he was already an established, accomplished underground rap artist. You know what I'm saying? So he had a lot behind him. He had a machine behind him. And he was able to, do his thing. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, you know what I mean? He still had people that was willing to mess with him, man. So he was able to get out a substantial amount of music, you know what I'm saying, from prison. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's my story. You know what I mean about X-rated Honore Brown. You know what I'm saying? In 1997, Salinas Valley State Prison. Those of y'all that was there with me at that time in Salinas Valley State Prison know what time it is. Shout out to 16 of Life. Bro was there. You know what I'm saying? He actually did a show talking about the times when me and X-Rated was on the yard and we used to rap, you know what I'm saying? And all that. So y'all can go check out Bro's show, you know what I'm saying? But it was a number of people there at that time that know that this story is true, man. But I wanted to bring that to y'all, you know what I'm saying? A tidbit of history, you know what I'm saying? About myself and involving the rapper X-Rated from Sacramento, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you all for stepping back to this round table, tolerating all the noise in my background. But hey, like I said, we was going to get it to y'all. I love and appreciate you all, man, for having the patience, you know what I'm saying, and understanding, man. Thank you all that chose to come join the Swang Low podcast family. Thank you for joining this roundtable, man. We love and appreciate you all, you know what I'm saying? And we definitely are humbled at you choosing us to come spend time with. Nothing but love. And to those of y'all that haven't already did it, please like, comment, and subscribe to the Swang Low podcast show. Do Rod Creek is definitely appreciated. Love and appreciate you all, man. To the next time we come to this round table, y'all stay safe out there, man. Love and appreciate each other. Stay hydrated. Triple gang.